I think this is really one of those good purchase if you're really considering buying what is the possible alternative, which is the Fortuner. Hi guys, welcome back. So as you can see behind me is a 2011 Lexus RX350. Now, why am I here to talk about this? Well, I was thinking about, is it still wise to be actually getting, what is this, a 12-year-old car nowadays? Because when I was looking at the value of cars like this, it made me realize the price of one of this is no more than the similar generation ng mga Fortuner. And when you ask about people, bakit ka magko-Fortuner? Mas mura yung mga Everest, mas mura yung mga that generation, di ba? You have the Everest, you have the Montero. Sabi nila kasi yung Toyota mas matibay, mas maganda resale value, and also and so forth. So if you're talking about that, about the Toyota, what more about this, the Lexus? So I'm going to be talking more about why this is even better than on a similar generation of Fortuner. So let's go. Join me as we talk about it. So this one here, the model that you're looking at is a 2011 Lexus RX350. So RX is basically Lexus luxury crossover na SUV. This is, they consider as a mid-size. If you're talking about the American market, they call this as a mid-size SUV. Now, the RX is very significant. This is very significant model, not just for Lexus, but generally for the whole car industry. Before the Lexus RX, there was no such thing as a luxurious na crossover or SUV. At that time, what you had was the smaller SUVs like the RAV4, I think CR-V, which was not really geared towards luxury at that time. It was more geared for something like a sporty, young, for the younger generation. You had the full-size SUV, I think back then you had the Montero or the Pajeros. We're talking about the late 90s eh. No? So you're talking about the Pajero, Montero. I think in the Japan market, they call it the Shogun. And then for the Toyota, they had the Land Cruiser. In the American market, they had the 4Runner. Wala pang Fortuner nung time na yun. Remember, the Fortuner is more of a newer type of SUVs. Back then, the Toyota only had the Land Cruisers eh. And then they also had the Fortuner that never made into the Philippine market. Hindi umabot yan sa Philippines yung Fortuner. The 4Runner, sorry, the 4Runner. So why is this very significant? Before this, there wasn't any luxury. Now, this is where a lot of them are actually based, like the BMW X5. What else you have? Right now, you have the Hyundai, the Palisades. More of the big, mid-size luxury crossover. So without this vehicle, wala yun. So this is very significant. This is a very significant model. And for Lexus, the RX is one of their best sellers. This is one of their best sellers. So in terms of, kaya nga, may tanong eh, is it stupid to be owning a Lexus, lalo na luma? Sabi ko, hindi actually. This is still a Toyota. The parts I use for this is still a Toyota. I just had its whole front suspension under chassis fixed. And that didn't cost me more than what it would have cost me nung pinaayos ko yung CR-V. Mas mahal pa nga yata yung ginastos ko sa CR-V. And they use parts from a Toyota. The engine of this is actually one of the most used 3.5 V6 engine of Toyota. So this engine is seen in the Camry, the Alphard, a few Lexus na 350 models. More significantly, this engine is also what Lotus used in their recent sports car, this Toyota 3.5 engine. And there's a lot more vehicles within the Toyota lineup and the Lexus lineup that actually use this. So pyesa walang problema. You can probably easily get an oil filter na kailangan mo, anything about the engine from any Toyota store here. So now let's go back into before medyo kumakalat na yung sinasabi ko about the Lexus. I'm just really excited about it. But let's go back into the comparison between this and the Fortuner. Kasi think about it this way. If you are in a market of that can sit 5 adults comfortably, 5 full-size adults comfortably, with enough room for cargo, this is one of those vehicles that you should be considering over the Fortuner. Why? Hindi lang halata, but let me just go turn this camera around. It's just not very obvious immediately. But would you believe me if I told you this RX350 is longer than the Fortuner? Kakagulat, no? Who would have thought? Kasi it just looks very compact because of its design. Second, would you also believe that this RX350 is wider than a Fortuner? So what does that mean? The wider the vehicle, the more interior space. That's why this is even much more comfortable sitting 5 adults than the Fortuner. Hindi lang ganun ka-obvious. Ang pinaka-obvious dito is, of course, the height difference, because yung Fortuner uses a larger semi-off-road all-terrain wheels. This one is using a street tire na 18-inch, but this one has 18-inch tires already. Isa pang nakakatawang comparison, wait, let me just show you, is what do you call this? Ground clearance. It's not that obvious. It's just not obvious kasi it's closer. It looks closer to a car than it is in a truck-based SUV or a ladder frame SUV like the Fortuner. But look at it. Look at it here. Ground clearance, more or less around 32 cm. Okay, 32 cm. So sabi mo, mataas ba yung 32 cm? Okay, I don't have a Fortuner here, but I have the next best thing, which is a ladder frame SUV also, which is our Terra. Okay, so let's compare. Ano ba ang ground clearance nitong Terra? Remember, this step board is part of the car stock. So let's compare it with that. So ano ba ang ground clearance ng Fortuner? Ng Terra. It's 33.5. You're talking about 1.5 cm. Ito ang difference nila when it comes to ground clearance. So hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na okay, gusto ko mag Fortuner kasi mas okay yung Fortuner kasi taas ng ground clearance, mas wala akong problema kung sasayad ako. No, you're talking about this much difference. Now, we talked about the overall length. The length of the car this is longer. Yung wheelbase lang nito is slightly shorter. By how much? 10 mm, as in isang daliri ko, yung lapad ng daliri ko. My small. That's just the difference between that. Now, we're talking about this exact RX350 model compared to the same generation. Now, if you're going to compare them, now, isipin mo, okay, hindi ba talo ka sa gasolina dito? Kasi mas malakas. Now, let's compare it to something more comparable, which is the 2.7 gas engine Fortuner G model. Or if you want the diesel, let's put the figures also there. So this one is rated at around 20 miles per gallon. Yun yung US rating niya. 20 miles per gallon is roughly 8.5 kilometers per liter. 8.5 kilometers per liter. The Fortuner gas na 2.7, back then at 2000, that generation around 2011, the 2.7 na gas ng Fortuner, ang rated niya na fuel consumption is 8.8. So, konti lang difference. Yung diesel na, I think I'm not sure if it's the 3 liter, but their diesel, I'll double check the facts if it's the 3 liter or the 2.5, but their diesel is nasa mga 10 kilometers per liter. So, in terms of consumption, sa diesel makakatipid ka. Pero, if you're talking about a 12-year-old diesel car, you have to also be careful. Is the engine still running in good condition? Kasi mas madali i-maintain yung gas engine pag matagalan lang ganun. Kasi there is less carbon build-up on the makina. Ngayon, itong 2011, 2012 na Fortuner na tinitingnan mo, how is the condition of the engine? Because kailangan mo malamang sort of papalinis pa yung internals kasi remember, the diesel is much more dirtier than a gas engine. So there's a lot of carbon buildup. So isa pa yun sa i-consider mo. So if there's a lot of carbon buildup, is it actually still that fuel efficient? Baka naman hindi na, and this one is still much better in terms of fuel efficiency. Another thing, so when we were comparing the prices, now look for a Fortuner that is 4-wheel drive, a 4x4. Why will you compare it with a 4x4? This particular model is actually an all-wheel drive, which is if I'm not mistaken, most of the Lexus RX350 that was sold here in the Philippines were all-wheel drive. Makikita mo wala naman nakasulat sa labas kung all-wheel drive siya o hindi. But this one particular is an all-wheel drive model. And you'll see that the price range of an RX350 is not too far away from a Fortuner na 4x4 within that generation. Nagulat nga ako when I was doing some research about this car. Sabi ko, why will I even consider a Fortuner if this is in the market and this is available? Isa pang maganda. But this is more of my personal take lang on it. Most people who own and purchase this Lexus can afford to have it serviced in Lexus. So, halos lahat ng nakita kong nagbebenta nitong Lexus in the marketplace has full service records, meaning CASA-maintained halos lahat yan. So what are the things that I actually like about the RX350 that I think the Fortuner of that generation still didn't have? And remember, this is a 12-year-old car, and yet this was equipped already with a lot of tech for its generation. So let's go check it out. Okay, so for a 2011, this already has a backup camera. No? Tapos second, this one has an automatic tailgate. So all I have to do is press this long. See? And if I want to close it back, all I have to do is either I can press this button here, or I can also use the key fob to actually close it. Right? Now, yun nga yung question kanina. Balikan ko lang yung question ulit na magastos ba to maintain this? Now, if you notice, let me just open this. Now, the bad part about that, it's not really a bad part, but the automatic na tailgate will only work with the button in the front and with the key fob. From here, I still need to do manual lifting of the tailgate if I want to. No? Now, you see the struts. Here. This is the same part as a lot of Toyotas and other models, which means nung sira yung strut, hindi gumagana yung automatic door opener and closer kasi it was not holding properly. Guess what? One pair of this, hulaan nyo magkano yung parts. 1,200 pesos lang. Pair na yun. The front one, I also replaced the front. The one in the hood is only 900. Okay, since we're here already in the rear cargo, this has a very big cargo area. Kaya nga yun yung point ng pagka-utility nitong vehicle. That's why if you're looking for a utility vehicle, I guess one of your criteria is you can put a lot of things at the back. Now, this is one of the smart things na I'm pretty sure wala si Fortuner. See this door? Parang, ayaw ko lang kung makita nyo. Here, para siyang door handle. So if you're here and you're loading a lot of stuff, tapos kailangan ibaba mo yung upuan, you don't have to go all the way. Hindi ka na kailangan umikot. All you have to do is pull this. And then So pwede mo na lagyan yan ng maraming gamit. Now this one you can just remove. So in case you need to put something long, ayan, ganyan kadiretso. No? By the way, this is already stock, this mga cargo cover. Ayan, no? Para hindi makita ng tao ano yung laman nito pag in case sumilip sila. Another thing I really like about this is this Lexus has full electronic adjustable seats for not just the driver but also the passenger. But this is the thing that I like the most. See this? It has settings and memory setting. Now, why do I like this? Now, I think this is very typical to any Filipino household. Our cars are being shared by family members. Minsan yung iba pa may driver. So, ang maganda dito, I don't know if it's similar tayo ng experience, but one thing palaging nahirapan ako when someone uses the car and then ako naman ang gagamit, ang hirap ko makuha yung setting na ginalaw nila sa salamin ko, ginalaw nila yung upuan, yung angle ng upuan, or even the angle of the steering wheel. Because unlike the other cars, like remember my concern about the Terra, this one is four-way adjustable. So you can actually go up and down, forward and backward. So that's another thing na I can really customize it to how I want it. So once na set ko yan, ang dami kong pwede iset, di ba? So sa upuan, I don't know if you can see it here, but I'll take a video of the adjustable seat later, yung controls. So ayaw na ayaw ko, yung pagbalik ko sa kotse, ako naman ang gagamit, hahanapin ko na naman yung perfect position, but not with this one. So right now, ang last na gumamit nito was my wife. So nakaset siya to my wife's setting. So kung mapapansin mo, medyo sobrang lapit ako sa upuan. All I have to do is press the memory that I set here, the button 1, na naka-save yan for me. So if I press it 1, yan, it's going to adjust my back, the angle, my seat is going down. Ayan, pati yung steering wheel, it adjusts. Hindi lang yan. The side mirrors are actually adjusting to how I set it also. Diba? Ang galing eh. So, let me just start the car para medyo mas malamig tayo dito. Okay, so that's it. Oh, let me just turn off the music. Okay. I don't know kung rinig nyo, but nag-start na engine. And there is no vibration at all. You can barely hear the engine running. That's the beauty about having this Lexus as compared to the Fortuner, which is, especially if you're going to get the diesel, hindi siya tahimik. This one is sobrang tahimik. The seats are very relaxed, very comfortable. Kaya nga, if you're talking about the same price, minsan ang hirap mo na i-consider na bakit pa ako magpo-Fortuner? Bakit hindi ito ang tinitingnan ko, no? When it's not really that difficult to service, most of the car repair shops that actually can repair a Toyota can easily repair this, especially this older generation, since they are not too much tech. They are easy to fix because mechanically this is not too far away from a Camry. But remember, this is a 2011 model, so you have to consider medyo hindi pa ganun ka high-tech yung mga tech niya, especially the Philippine version or the one they sold in the Philippines. If you're going to look at the infotainment system here, it's very generic. Yung sa US na model, mas high-tech yan for the same 2011 model, and they even have something like a mouse control here that you can control a pointer there because the screen is colored. This one is just your very basic. Now it has your aircon controls and of course your music. This one has 6 CD changer. So kung pareho tayo, marami pa ring CD collection, okay to. The problem with this one doesn't have Bluetooth yet. So the only way I can get Bluetooth is I bought an adapter that I plugged inside here, the glove compartment, and then I can put it on, may FM transmitter siya para maging Bluetooth. The other option is actually using also a 3.5mm plug, so you can use the auxiliary, which I have an auxiliary cord here ready. Sadly, most of the phones now, wala na rin 3.5mm na plug. all my family's iPhone wala, both my Samsung wala, so hindi rin namin nagamit unless I'm going to buy a USB-C na dongle. Another thing that actually is na meron to na wala probably yung Fortuner. Hindi mo nakita kaya ang liwanag ng ulo ko. Look, this one has a sunroof. This one has a sunroof. So I can close it, I can open it, and then I can use. How cool is that? Diba? May sunroof ka pa. Then to close it, I just have to press a button here to close it. Yeah. I already have my door open, and yet you can barely still hear the engine. Another thing I actually like is how, I guess it's me being old school, itong wood and leather combination. Back in the 90s, ito yung usong-uso na setup ng mga cars namin eh. Naka-wooden steering wheel. So this is it appeals to me a lot. Ito yung mga wood grain, di ba? This is just signifies how luxury this is. Now, things that are actually, yung nga sabi ko, what I like about the car when it comes to the tech eh. Okay, look at the side mirror. When you back up, bumababa yung side mirror to show you the floor. And then after that, when you actually go back to park, it returns. That is so smart. I don't know why something like the Nissan Terra here beside me, who has all this capability, but they don't program it in. Now, another thing that I actually like, when you exit the car, when you turn off your engine, and getting ready to exit the car when you close it. So the first thing it does is actually to back up your seat and then push the steering wheel forward. Why? This makes your exit so much easier. Galing, no? Yun yung mga things that you don't get to regularly experience unless you're in one of these luxury cars. So, no? So let me show you the back part. So here I am sitting at the second row. There is still a lot of room for 3 people to sit really comfortably. Now look at my leg room. I'm about 5'7". I'm not really tall, but my son, which is 6-footer, has no problem sitting here. Wala siyang kahirap-hirap. And the good thing here is I can actually adjust this if I want to go forward and backward. This is fully adjustable. I can bring this up, or I can actually recline the seat. No? Masyado yatang higayan. This is set. The front passenger is set for someone. I think it's my son who was sitting kanina dito. So he was 6 foot. So there's enough room. And still, I have a lot of leg room here. Hindi ko na sure kung kitang-kita. But look at all the leg room here. Oh. This is my knee here. Look at the space. Ganong kaluwang ito. No, but I guess yun lang eh. Maraming may hesitation. Because when you think about owning something like a Lexus, ang una papasok sa isip mo is owning something that luxurious, that expensive, that maintenance is going to be expensive. So, if you're going to think past that, na yun nga lang, medyo insulto nga minsan sasabihin ng tao, o Lexus siya, pero hindi, Toyota lang yan. No, but that's the good thing about it. It is a Toyota. Toyota, Lexus particularly, is one of the most reliable cars that is in the market. Go search, Google, whatever year you want. What is the most reliable car? I guarantee you it's always, Lexus and Toyota is always going to be topping it. So these ones are built to last forever. So kahit na luma to, why are you going to be worrying about breakdowns when you don't really have to worry much? Kasi hindi nga to ganong kadalas masira. Now, of course, mahirap talaga i-convince people to go na from a Fortuner, which is more like a truck, bigger wheels, is capable of going off-road, as compared to something like this, which is still a mid-size SUV, bigger than the Fortuner, except for the height. It's bigger than a Fortuner, has a roomier interior, is all-wheel drive, so meaning walang problema. Actually, even towing capacity. This RX350 can actually tow up to 2,000 kilos. And I'll show you the pictures of what people in North America do. They actually connect a trailer to it, and then they use this to actually go camping. This is very capable. Now, yung lamang kasi ng Fortuner is, it is more capable if you plan to use it off-road. When you think about it, it's parang, you see my Seiko diver's watch. It is capable of what? 200 meters. I don't even go diving. But I own a lot of Seiko divers. Parang ganun yun eh. If I don't have plans to go diving, am I really being better off buying a diver's watch? I think it boils down to really just the look. If you are a ladder frame SUV owner, meaning Montero, Everest, Fortuner, what are the others? Terra. How often do you actually go off-roading or leaving the pavement? Because based on the research in the US, 98% of SUV owners go off-road or go off the road, not off-roading, iba yun. Off the road meaning may madadaanan sila mga gravel or mud. And they go off the pavement road. Not off-road na yung nakikita mong 4x4 lumulusong sa tubig. No, not that. 98% of them actually do not or use it only once on loose gravel, mud, and off the pavement road. And to those na never, mga 90% of them never actually left the pavement. I've owned this Terra for ilang months na ngayon. Hindi ko pa yata nagagamit yung third row nito eh. I've used the cargo area, but I don't remember us using it na more than 5 kami. No, parang, nga no, have I used the third row? Or if ever I did, maybe once? Because I don't really remember. Kasi kadalasan, it's just either kami mag-asawa kasama yung dalawang bata, so 4 kami, or if my daughter's boyfriend joins along, that's just 5 of us. Wala na. I don't remember if we needed something like a 6th or 7th person in the car. So, yun din. Think about it. How often do you actually use the third row na magiging hindrance sa'yo, this Lexus, that it can only sit 5? Pero kung tutuusin, sa lapad ng middle row nito, as long as hindi sila kasing laki o kasing lapad ko, I think 4 can easily fit there. Not that relaxed. That's not that comfortable, pero I'm pretty sure 4 can actually sit there and fit there properly, and then still good enough for a good, maybe a 1 hour, 1.5 ride. Thank you guys. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. But if ever you have any questions that maybe I can help you, if you're considering one of these RX350s, please let me know. Maybe I can help you. So guys, thank you. See you soon.